But now let's look at how things look like a few years later, right? So you're graduating from college, from high school, you're going to be somewhere between 16 to 18. I mean, you can go up to as high as 24, which is why this looks at, what happens, and this is the same year, so it's not the same students, but it's a snapshot of what those students that went into high school at 2000, went into college in 2016, what the future is going to look like. So for Latinos, we had 7 out of every 10 that graduated going to college. Well, what does the picture look like a few years later? So there's your 7 out of 10 that immediately went to college. So, a few years down the road, when they're between the ages of 20 to 24, now you're down to half, right? And the other half is neither in school nor working. So think about that. If you're sitting in a room with 5 people, with 10 people, Latino, ages 20 to 24, you can roll your dice and expect 5 out of those 10 to not be working or not going to school. So what else could they be doing? That you or me?
Oh no, that's a street sweeper.
Okay. With African Americans, it's the same. They lose 2. They started off with 6 going straight to college. By the time they're 20 to 24, only 4 are left. Asians drop 2 as well. So there seems to be a pattern there. But because they started so high at 9, they still have 7, still fighting the good fight going to college, right? And so you got to look at that. If you look at the actual bars for Hispanics, you see that 36% of those that are not in school, not in college, not at working, are poor, right? And there are conditions that come with that, right? The opportunities and the outlook is bleaker than for non-poor. So you look at the percent that are non-poor for Hispanics, and that's 15% of all 20 to 24-year-olds. But for Hispanics, for us, that doesn't mean rich. It doesn't even mean middle class. It just means you didn't make low enough of an income to consider poor. But you can still be near poor, near broke. We talk about our own personal struggles, and it's like we're living on the edge, right?